What's good with the YouTube world? Is Coffee. Tap it back in with another one, man. Got a quick hip hop news update for y'all. Couple topics to get off into, man. So hit them buttons, fluck with me. But more importantly, join that discussion in the comments. Let's coffee talk it up. That's what it's all about, you heard? But peep it, man. The album, that kind of felt like it was never gonna come. Honestly, kind of was feeling like it was destined to fail as the promo run rollout to the album was just a mess. We've been covering it on this channel. It's actually finally here. And yes, we're talking about the game Drillmatic, as I've been sharing with y'all. This feels like a very almost like make or break moment for the game. Very pivotal moment. All these debts and, civil judgments against them. We saw how he had to cook the books, move money around, all these, ducking and dodging court dates, judge ordering them to, bring documentation of all this and that, assets, revenue and whatnot. Then he brings it. The individuals trying to take the money are like, oh, take it from here. Then they move the money. It's just been a mess, and in the midst of all this and through a lot of other ish that was happening, regarding the game and the hip hop world and whatnot, has just kind of put a damper on the game's career. He lost a lot of momentum. It's just not the same game we saw break into the rap game with the documentary, which I just got an interesting video up a couple videos back on the channel, regarding the early stages of the game's career and all that. But more or less the question has been, is the album really going to drop, which it did? And is it going to, be full of hits? Is the music going to be fire to kind of overcome and offset all the fluckery that's been going on, with Whack 100, everything else? It's just been a wild ride for the game. And, he's been posting and sharing that it's going to be the best album of the year. We know he has Hit Boy executive producing. As you see, Game did a live stream, I guess, across all social media platforms as the album came out at midnight, like a midnight madness type deal. Y'all remember that back when we used to go to stores and buy physical CDs when a really highly anticipated album would be dropping. They still did it with video games for a while. I don't even know, do people still really go buy physical video games? Comment, but that's besides the point. I'm just saying, y'all remember those days, waiting up till midnight, going out, buying the music or buying the video game. In this situation, motherfuckers is getting on Apple Music or YouTube or wherever you like to stream or purchase, download your music. The game was urging everyone to show up to, listen to this 30-track album. Comment, guys. Have you listened to the album? What do you think about it? Again, 30 tracks, that's a lot. We know he does indeed have a new Nipsey Hussle feature. I did not know that was going to be on the way. Comment and let me know if you were already privy to, that was going to be, featured on the album. It's number 28. It's called World Tours featuring Nipsey Hussle. He's got Ice-T on the intro. A lot of features, you know what I'm saying? And regarding the individuals who've been tapping in online, reacting to this album. And guys, again, comment if you've listened, your favorite tracks, your thoughts of the album overall. Some cats have been saying, it's heavy on the features, which I'm not necessarily against a lot of features, Y'all remember what Nas said, though, right? His first album without no guest appearances, the outcome, he's crowned the best lyricist. Classic bars, right? But, keeping it a buck, the reviews and reactions have been generally positive. So, someone pointed out here, I guess, Game threw out a bar. I don't want to say taking referencing, we'll say, Isaiah Rashad, from TDE. There was that whole situation, that video that leaked out. That's all we'll really say about that. But it says, the Game said, if gay is happy, I'm Isaiah Rashad, on the last song on Drillmatic. The last track, he referenced Isaiah Rashad. That was wild. Game's wild for that one. What else on here? Someone says, I skipped the Black Slim Shady on the Game Drillmatic. Overall, the album is good. First listen, decent 7 out of 10, right? I strongly feel like this album could have just been 18 tracks. Someone else pointed out that YG dropped Toxic and the Game dropped Drillmatic, that this weekend is lit for new music out there on the West Coast. And, some individuals, who were behind the scenes during the recording process, who posted about this, were saying that there was songs that they felt were better that didn't make the album. That happens a lot, right? But again, share your thoughts just on the tracks and the album overall in general. But that first review that I was talking about, you peeped that they said, I skipped the Black Slim Shady on the Game Drillmatic. And that's a 10-minute diss track. And that's been a whole 3-ring circus in itself, which I thought overall was not a good look. That whole part of the promo campaign as well, where Whack 100 was going on Clubhouse, talking it all up after some of the comments the Game made on Drillmatic, which then he started going to other podcasts and talking about it. And, he was talking about, because people were pointing out how back in the day, he was saying, people don't want smoke with the white boy. And at times, he was just always showing nothing but the utmost respect for Marshall Mathers bars, but he was saying he didn't feel that way anymore. And he also went on to talk about how without, the Shady Aftermath Interscope machine, that pushed him the way that they did. And then, of course, the Elvis effect, with white America and Europe and stuff like that. Game said that was more about what made the Eminem who he was, as opposed to his true talent. And he felt like he was going to body Eminem. But in the end, he didn't just drop the track, Then he started second guessing it and saying it wasn't coming. Then he was saying it was coming. And it was just, again, a mess like everything else that he was doing leading up to this album. It was just like every shot you're throwing up is a brick or an air ball. Nothing's hitting. And, this is not how you want things to go when you got an album dropping. But in the end, when the album drops, here is the Black Slim Shady track, and let's talk about that in the comments. Honestly, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'll flat out call it trash. I definitely am going to say I wasn't really feeling it. Again, it's 10 minutes long as fuck. It's you know what I mean? And he's doing the Eminem voice, and more or less it was like he was doing his best Eminem impression, referencing a lot of stuff from M and stuff like that, and from his career, his music. And it was just, I don't know, I wasn't really feeling it. And I want to share this one tweet that someone threw up reacting to the Black Slim Shady track. And again, I want to hear what y'all thought about it. I thought what this person said summed it up pretty well. Someone said, the Game claimed he never bumped Eminem's albums, only for him to mention Eminem's whole life and use his flow as a supposed diss track, then titled it The Black Slim Shady. Bro, that's a tribute to M. And to be honest, I mean, in the track, there was definitely some shots took at M, some disses or whatever, but it wasn't no ether type vibes, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing where it's man, he's just crushing Eminem. He's making Eminem look foolish. All in all, it felt like a miss. But then hearing this tweet here, I'm yeah, that kind of sounds right. He definitely studied everything about Eminem, seemed very well acquainted with his catalog, his music, his body of work, his life. He did say some things about when they worked together and wouldn't come out of the studio or something like that. Which, if you guys remember that track from the documentary, y'all remember that? We ain't going nowhere, so fuck you. It was on that, Game was doing almost his best Eminem impression. It was kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say bizarre, but it definitely was different than a lot of what we had heard from Game at that time. But what do you think though about the track, what this person said? To you, is it more almost like a tribute or almost like a concept song, you know what I mean? Where he's like, I'm going to rap as Eminem, which is, some dope stuff in hip hop. I pluck with concept songs. I always point out when I speak a concept, like artistically, some ish that I like was when Nas and Nashawn of the Bravehearts rapped as a prison cell. Nas rapped as a prison cell, a bullet that splits through your dome, the hospital bed you lay on. Like that was dope. And Game has a track on the LAX album where he's rapping as it's called Say Goodbye, and it's 3 verses. One is like Biggie, one's Eazy-E, and one's Pac, and it's almost like he's rapping as them from beyond the grave, telling their story of what happened to them or whatever. Like, that was pretty lit. That's a dope concept song. But in this situation, that's what I mean. It felt like a concept song, but I wasn't really feeling it. You know what it kind of reminded me of? For those who pay attention to a lot of the ish going on in the blogosphere, different topics and whatnot, if you guys remember when the whole As Is Eminem situation jumped off, As Is ended up getting into it with a lot of these like internet rappers that are like Eminem fans and, like more or less like stans that can rap. And a lot of them are really skilled. I'm not taking away anything from them lyrically, but they literally, a lot of them rap like Eminem, or they rap about how he inspired them. It's kind of a wild situation. That's kind of what it felt like Game was doing on this. And all in all, what do y'all think, man? Should he have left it off the album? Because again, the whole way he went about doing it with the diss campaign and then not dropping it, it came off as a L. In a sense, it kind of came off like he was a little nervous and shook a Slim Shady. And then here it is on the album when it comes out. It's 10 minutes long as fuck, and most individuals ain't feeling it. So, tap in, let me know your thoughts on that. And again, as well as the whole album, I really want to chop it on all this. But there's one more thing we got to speak about regarding this album. And that is the number 8 track, La La Land, right? Now, real talk, I know I just got this feeling that some motherfuckers is going to tap in the comments and say, Coffee, you reaching like a motherfucker. You're reaching like a reach toothbrush. Cut it out. I don't know why I feel like that's coming. But for real, I'm dead ass serious with this. It feels like the Game bit this from Spider Loc. I swear to y'all. You know what I mean? For those who, tap in to what Spider Loc's got going on, with his podcast and his music. It's dope. He plays the music during the podcast, throughout it and everything. You know what I mean? One of his newer tracks that gets a lot of play is La La Land. And listen, it's a fire song. Now, the Game's track, obviously, different beat, cadence is not the same or whatever. You know what I mean? As far as rhythmically and sonically and all that. But the concept of the song is the same, where, both their songs are like gritty, almost like, or not almost like, exactly like, talking about how LA can get active, you know what I'm saying? Tourists can get got. That both tracks have references to Dodger fitteds, and like Ish still jumps off in LA. Be careful. This is La La Land. Ish can get tricky in La La Land. That's literally what the Game song is pretty much the theme and everything as well. Like, if y'all don't believe me, listen to Spider Loc's song, La La Land. I'll leave links to both of them, and then go listen to the Game's La La Land. Again, different beats, they don't sound the exact same or whatever. I'm not saying it was bit to that level, but it's definitely like the same idea behind a song, the same theme behind a song. And SPI's joint's been out for a little while now. And, some people might say, oh man, the Game, he don't pay attention to what's going on with Spider Loc. Listen, y'all, never forget, the Game has jumped into Spider Loc's comments a few times on social media posts, taking issue with some of the things that SBI was saying. As we know, they've kind of had a long-standing feud, beef, or whatever, since way back during the G Unit days, And when Spider Loc jumped back on the scene a few years ago as he kind of had a hiatus and everything. You know, then we saw the gas station footage. Then next thing we know, he's active on Instagram. He's going live. He's on YouTube, and you know, it evolved into, you know, what he's got going on now. Again, shout out to him and his platform and all the new music he's dropped. Once again, I think it's dope the way he implements the music into the podcast, you know, and opens up the phone lines and everything. Something I like to do on my platform as well. So anyone finding this, don't forget to subscribe, guys. You know what I mean? This is Jay Coffee Talk. We talk music, news, sports, current events, life, and much more every day, all day. You know what I mean? If you're a football fan, we're going to have NFL content coming all season long. Again, you could call in on the live streams, and I always want to hear from y'all in the comments. You know, we coffee talk it up, debate and discuss. But back to what I was saying here, you know, when SPI popped back on the scene after that hiatus, like a question that fans were asking him a lot was like, yo, what's the deal with you and Game? What's the deal with you and Young Buck? You know, what happened with G Unit, etc. You know, but with the Game at first, it didn't seem like they were going to be cool, but it seemed like there could be a possibility, or maybe like the beef was behind them. But that turned out to not be the situation. And, you know, they still have had to seem to have a little bit of tension. And like I said, the Game kind of went berserk and one of Spider Loke's Instagram post in the comments, and you know, SPI gave him the same energy right back. But back to what we're talking about here, like for real, y'all, check both these songs out. Both called La La Land, both about, you know, the wild streets of Los Angeles, how they don't play in La La Land, man. I don't know. Something kind of funny about that to me. So get in the comments. What do you guys think? Is Game biting SPI? You know, the Black Slim Shady track, was it a miss? Was it a weak diss? Do you guys think Eminem's going to respond? You think the Game could be in trouble? And also, your thoughts on the album in general, you know, as a whole. Favorite tracks? Is it hard? You know, what do y'all fuck with? You know, and can this bring the Game, this album, is it dope enough to bring the Game back to prominence, you know, as he once was, as one of the, you know, most respected MCs on the West Coast, quite possibly in the rap game at one point in time, you know, but things done change, you know what I'm saying? It's very competitive in hip hop these days, you know, a lot of new artists jumping on the scene, a lot of different sounds, new types of music, subgenres, and all kinds of ish. It's wild, you know what I'm saying? It's the internet rap era, you know? So that pretty much concludes this video. Oh yeah, something else though I gotta point out regarding that Black Slim Shady song. I covered it in my other video, but did y'all see what the Game was doing over there on Facebook of all places, commenting about Haley? Like, he didn't say anything weird, but it was just kind of weird that he popped up in the comments like that, and then also mentioned Eminem like 4 times in the last week. That was all getting picked up in the news, you know, that he was doing that strategically, like most definitely was trying to get a buzz behind going at Eminem, which is a smart idea, you know what I'm saying? Controversy sells. Eminem has a huge fan base, but this is a miss, and he went about it all long. But that's the end of this video, as I'm going on a little long, right? Look forward to hearing what you guys got to say in the comments. Catch you guys on the next one. It's Coffee. I'm up out here, y'all. Don't forget to sub up. Peace.